Task Force 6. Melina, you have the floor.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I know I have a really hard time being the last one. We are already behind the schedule and we are reaching lunchtime, so I'll keep this scripted so we don't go too late. So first I'd like to thank the organizing committee, represented here by Ambassador Márcia Loureiro, Júlia Dias Leite, and Luciana Servo, for the opportunity to convey recommendations of the Task Force 6, strengthening multilateralism and global governance, to representatives of the Ministry of Finance, Foreign Affairs, and the G20, including the Sherpa and other colleagues and authorities presented. I am the research director of Instituto Igarapé, who shares with the Institute for Global Dialogue, here represented by Dr. Metembo, the lead in the Task Force 6. As organizations with global outreach, we acknowledge there are key challenges in global governance today, and along with our co-chairs, we try to address some of them through these key recommendations. Recommendation 1 is to strengthen the effectiveness and efficiency of multilateral institutions by building trust, accountability, and inclusion, advocating for a UN Security Council reform that accounts for underrepresented regions and developing countries, that is guided by principles of equity, legitimacy, and modernization. We recommend that G20 call for the strengthening of the Peace-Building Commission by enhancing its advisory role to the Security Council and Economic and Social Council, and reinforcing its capabilities for conflict prevention. We also recommend that G20 support the alignment of policies across UN agencies, organization, and process. What is more, we recommend the G20 establish a permanent task force on the UN reform within the G20 Sherpa track. The recommendation 2 is to strengthen global governance through increased participation of non-state and subnational actors. The enhanced collaboration with both the Sherpa and finance tracks can include, but not be limited to, the existing engagement groups. Brazil G20's social is a really good example, as a structured technical exchange can also serve as advisory function. Task Force 6 likewise recommend the G20 to consider amplifying the participations of cities and other local and regional governments and related networks. Subnational actors are pivotal for addressing a host of systemic risks, including climate change, digital exclusion, and inequalities. Recommendation 3 is to improve global cooperation and investments for climate resilient development, including through reforms of the financial architecture. The G20 should advance a comprehensive reform agenda for international financial institutes and reoriented MDBs towards sustainable finance, as well as transform the governance of international financial institutions to be more equitable and inclusive. We know the roadmap under work is moving in that direction. We also agree the G20 should promote just ecological transition plans and accelerate the global energy transition away from fossil fuels, while championing equitable and sustainable carbon and biodiversity markets, payment for ecosystem services, and advocating for innovative financing mechanisms for protecting tropical forests, such as the Tropical Forest Fund Forever Fund. Our 4th recommendation is to strengthen governance to ensure timely and efficient responses to frontier threats related to global health, digital harms, and transnational organized crime. All 3 sets of challenges are international in nature and represent severe threats to peace and security, financial stability, and sustainable development. Finally, our fifth recommendation is to advance new norms and metrics for development cooperation and enhance G20 accountability, advancing metrics of well-being that moves beyond the GDP. These recommendations by no means exhaust the challenge to reform and strengthen multilateralism. Current political, economic, and social tensions create increased uncertainty that hinders progress on key commitments like the SDGs and the Paris Agreement. Growing competition, deepening inequality, and institutional inertia make multilateral cooperation increasingly difficult. A multilateral system model, a multilateral system more adapted to today's challenge needs inclusivity and fairness, agility and sufficient resources, as well as adaptability and transparency. Otherwise, none of the recommendations conveyed by the colleagues who preceded me can be pursued in a meaningful way. The G20 process, by its nature, can serve as a key platform for aligning efforts and setting agendas in this direction in other fora, such as the Summit of the Future and beyond. Having Brazil highlight the promotion of the global governance reform as one of the G20's priorities is certainly a step in the right direction towards a multilateral system that delivers for current and future generations, for people and the planet. You can count on our support. Thank you very much.